Hi folks, I'm going to demonstrate today our foliar spraying, which involves adding sound to the plants. Now, most people don't consider that plants would recognize sounds, but they actually do. And the first time I was introduced to this concept was back when I was, I think, a junior in high school. My science teacher, biology teacher, she was talking about an experiment she had done in college where her and her friend that were taking biology, they decided they were going to do an experiment using houseplants. And so what they did was they took one group of plants and put it in one of them's dorm room, and then took another group of plants and put it in that person's dorm room. And both dorms were facing the south, and so the sunlight was coming in. So they both got the same amount of sun. And what they wanted to do was they used the same soil, the same fertilizer for both sets of plants. But the difference was, in one group, they were real nice to the plants. They would say, "Oh, you're such a beautiful plant. Your flowers are so beautiful. I just love you, you're so nice, you're so pretty." And then the other group of flowers, they would say, "Oh, you're never gonna turn into anything. You're just a loser, and you're never gonna amount to nothing. Your flowers are so ugly." And they would talk like this to these plants to see if it had an effect on their growth. And believe it or not, she was saying that the ones who were talked nice to grew bigger and had more flowers. The ones they talked ugly to, they actually stunted their growth and they didn't have as many flowers. And so, you know, this was one of the experiments she did in college, and it was the first time I'd heard about this. But, you know, God has designed into plants and animals instincts that we don't quite understand. But you know, a lot of experiments have been done using plants and sound, and mostly music. This has gone on for many years. Not sure who started the first ones, but there's a gentleman by the name of Dan Carlson who owns a company called Sonic Bloom, and his website is dancarlsonsonicbloom.com. And he has got some marvelous information on music and this little chirping sound that he developed that gives the plants, there's the stomata under the leaf of a plant is underneath these leaves, there are stomata that open up. And when they hear the sound of music or this chirping sound that he came up with, the stomata actually open up, so it allows more carbon dioxide and nutrients to go in. And so what the system he developed was he would turn on music and play it to the plants for about 45 minutes, and then he would spray them with a foliar spray. And you want to try to get the spray underneath the leaves where the stomata are. He found by doing this, he could get incredible growth patterns. And he started marketing his operation. Many farmers throughout the United States and worldwide, in fact, have used his system and have done quite well with plants. And we've been using it too, and you can see that a lot of our stuff has done well. I'm gonna turn on the music and let you hear. This is one of his CDs from his website. Turned it up just a little bit. Now, it's interesting. People have done experiments with different kinds of music, and certain kinds of music are very beneficial for plants, like a classical type music, violins, acoustic guitars with finger picking. A lot of these things, stringed instruments, are very beneficial for plants. However, people have found during their studies that some kinds of music can actually deter your plants, such as hard rock and these kind of things. The syncopated sounds, they cause confusion in the plant cells, and they found that it actually causes a decrease in size and in structure. So Dan Carlson's years of research has come up with, he's got 3 CDs out, and one of them is classical music. There's another one that does like a whistling sound. A guy's whistling different tunes and stuff, and there's orchestra behind him. And then this one is the inspirational, where it's, you know, mostly hymns that are played in a classical setting. This, normally what you want to do, what he recommends is that you would turn this music on for one whole series for 45 minutes. And then after that 45 minutes, then you would start spraying your plants underneath and above with your foliar spray. And so I'm going to show you some of the different foliar sprays we like to use. One of them, these two are our most prominent. This is coming from International Ag Labs, Brix Blaster, which improves the Brix readings on plants, and I'll have to explain that to you in another video. We'll have another video on how to test your produce for sweetness and for mineral content. So this one is good for flowering and fruiting plants, and this right here, our Qualify, is good for things that, you know, like greens, salads, herbs, things where you're harvesting the leaves rather than a fruit. So we're gonna start with the Brix Blaster, and I'm gonna mix that up for you. I've got several different sprayers that I use. We get those at Walmart. They're like $8 a piece. They're pretty cheap. So this one we use for Brix Blaster. And it's already half full, so I'm just gonna put in a half of the amount you normally would. Now normally for a full gallon we would use 4 ounces, which this is a 2-ounce container, so I'm going to put half. Just stir it up just a little bit. Now, something else we want to do, you really need a surfactant whenever you're doing foliar spraying, because if you don't have a surfactant, some of the leaves it'll just kind of bead up on the leaf instead of actually melting right into the leaf. So this company came out with a thing called Bio Wash, which has it's not only a surfactant, but it has different stuff in it, for cation exchange, photosynthesis stimulants. It's really made as a good organic product. And so we usually use about 2 ounces of that, but I'm gonna go 1 in this case since we're already half full. Now, one other product we like to do, haven't actually tried this yet, but this stuff here is called Ocean Trace, and it's a complex method of extracting the minerals out of seawater, which the minerals in seawater, there's about 90 different minerals in seawater. I mean, whatever's in the periodic chart can be found in very minute quantities in the ocean. And so researchers have found that if you use those minerals, those ionic minerals that are in the ocean, you get a tremendous amount of micro trace elements that are very beneficial for plant growth. And so this product here, about 90% of the sodium chloride has been removed. I could explain how they do that, but it'd take a little while to explain it. So just trust me, it's a very nice product. And from their recommendations, what you want to use is about 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. So this is a gallon jug, so I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in there with it. Okay, now I got to fill it up with water. Pump it up good. Want to kind of stir it a little, shake it up a little bit, get all that goodie mixed in good. And normally we do this in the morning. As you can see, it's kind of hot out. This is not the ideal time to do this, but our schedule made it so that we wound up doing it in the afternoon. But typically your plant, the stomata, are going to open up better in the cool of the morning. So this is not the ideal time, but you can get the idea of what we're doing. So what you want to do is let that run for 45 minutes, then start it over again and spray them, and then start it over again for another 45 minutes. So you're going 1 cycle of CD initially, then turn it on again, and then do your spray, and then let the music run for another 45 minutes. And he found that's the best way to do it. So we're going to start with this corn over here. We just planted this corn just, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it's kind of a late corn. Anyway, what you want to do is just get your mist where it's misting out kind of nice. Just come along. You want to spray top and bottom. And we got a little bit of soybeans here too. Hi folks. In conclusion, I would just like to encourage everyone to go to Dan Carlson's website. It's www.dancarlsonsonicbloom.com. And in that website, you'll see a lot of testimonies. You'll see some videos there of people that have gotten some amazing results using this Sonic Bloom technology. And you know, there's a lot of things. There's corn development, having more ears per stalk of corn. There's a lot of things that you can see. Alfalfa guy getting incredible results with, you know, grains and alfalfa for his cows and stuff. But go to that website, check it out. And also, I would like to tell you, I did get a chance to talk to Dan Carlson Jr. and I approached him about the possibility of playing his CDs on our YouTube channel, so that basically all you have to do is just take out your phone and tune into our channel and then take your Bluetooth speaker and place it there in front of the garden and just turn it on and let the music play to your plants. You can get foliar spray from them. You can also get this little box. It's a sound generator that will produce a certain chirping sound, which let me play it for you right now. Mr. Carlson had figured out that this chirping sound, he spent a lot of time developing the particular frequencies that encourage that plant growth and the stomatas to open up. So after years of research, this is kind of the sound that he came up with. And if this little box will produce that sound, this little sound generator, and you can just put that in front of your garden, and it's waterproof and everything else. So it's got a timer on it. You can turn it on and off and do a lot of cool things with it. It's a bit pricey. Now, you can just get off of our YouTube channel, you can just download the CDs, the music, and like I said, play it to your plants, or you can there's several options you can do. Now, you could buy the foliar spray directly from Dan Carlson, or you can use what we use is just like Bricks Blaster and different things like that that we've been getting from the company that we like to use. It's at fixmysoil.com. You can order, they've got several different foliar sprays that we like to use. Also, I would like to encourage you to get some of this right here. This is called Ocean Trace, and it's available through Ag USA. If you do a search on Ocean Trace, what this is, it's a product of the ocean where it's kind of a long story, but they take ocean water in real arid places and pump it into ponds and then let it evaporate. It has to be an area where they don't get much rainfall, and when it evaporates and the concentration of the minerals increases to a certain extent, the calcium will drop out. It'll precipitate to the bottom, and then they'll move it to another pond, collect the calcium, then they'll let it dry some more, and the next thing that goes is the sodium chloride. So with this process, they can remove most of the salt from out of seawater and leaves all the trace elements. They put the calcium back in. Of course, they have to add a little more water so that it'll redissolve. This product removes about 90% of the sodium from seawater, and so it really helps to bring about high bricks, produce. It makes everything grow better. It's really a good product. So we like to put about 1 teaspoon per gallon in our foliar spray mixes. You can see we've got several spray containers. Now, you can see these sunflowers, we've got, this one's the tallest, and they gradually drop down a little bit. It's hard to tell from the video, but the plant that was closest to the music grew the tallest. And this has been documented over and over in Dan Carlson's research, that as you get further away from the speaker, the plants diminish in size. And so it's a very valid concept. We've been using it for several years. We really like it. But anyway, I guess this winds up this video. Y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.